Astrology time, Shane here, dailyastrocat.com. And today is the 6th of July. So all the celebrations and the hooplas behind us, right? We got a couple of games behind us too, right, for the World Cup. A couple of upsets in there too, kind of interesting, right? Now, it's Monday and the moon in Pisces is void of course at 1:21 in the morning and enters Aries at 10:07 also in the morning. That creative energy that we had over the weekend, that can be channeled in the morning until the sun and Saturn start pumping the brakes, right? And that pretty much happens right at about 6:47 in the morning. So we start kind of like pumping the brakes a little bit. By the time the sun enters Aries, the moon enters Aries. I did that twice. I can't edit that out again. By the time the moon enters Aries, look, that's when that creative time, it's time to get down to business, right? So that's what we're going to have to do. So you can see where the challenge bar has been set, but you also are going to get a good idea of how to clear it before that moon enters Aries. So that's what we got a little bit in the morning going on, right? We get the challenge bar set, and it's like, okay, we're going to have to go over this to get to where we want to go to once we can start really digging down and getting our actions going and initiating some stuff, right? For a lot, it's going to be a return to the work week, particularly if you were in the United States, and, maybe you took an extra week of vacation. Maybe your vacation started last week. Hard to say, right? That's up to you. Now, look, while it's not as clear-cut as it was yesterday, today's energy it favors new beginnings that have already been set in motion, okay? And particularly at work in the 3D, right? That's how we like to separate our 3D from our 5D. Spiritual work for us, side hustly stuff and things like that. That's our 5D, right? That's something that we're doing differently, right? And I mean, it's probably not a correct designation for it, but I don't really particularly care because I just like separating the two of them because our work life is one thing and it's in usually bricks and mortar or something like that or whatever we're doing from home, working remotely within some kind of structure, right? A 3D structure. Whereas the 5D defies that structure and it's our own making and it's our own doing and it's our own vibration being elevated. So once we have that differentiation made, look, don't be afraid of Mercury being retrograde. Just choose your words carefully and allow the process plenty of time because words are going to be misunderstood. Intentions may be met one way, and they're certainly not that way. It can be totally different, right? So don't be surprised, okay? And don't be surprised if nothing happens immediately, because that's just not where we're at right now. We're still in a growing phase, right? Those apples, they're only about that big on the tree, right? They're not apples yet. They're semi-apples, right? The small animals out in the yards, they're growing, right? It's probably the second clutch of them already since spring. So look, a bunch of little rabbits running around. So that's what we're looking at. So don't be surprised if nothing happens immediately. Mercury is still retrograde. So even though you're going to work on some of these things and be bold and brilliant about it, and today has a lot of favorable energy to it, right? We've got lunar trines with everything because we've got all that stuff. We've got the things going on. We've got the moon trine Jupiter. Jupiter's in Leo, the moon's in Aries, right? We also have, sextile with Uranus, sextile with Mars. We've got some action going on here. We've got things that we can do. The moon is putting us in a mood to be able to do these things and say like, okay, this doesn't seem that hard, but where's your focus at and where are you actually engaged in the most, right? We told you to engage with the 5D over the weekend. And so now we're just trying to find out where our point of engagement is. So today's keyword is definitely action, because we need to take action to take those engagements and turn them into actions so that we can start seeing something coming of them, right? Now, the color is a muzzle flash at night. Now, back to routines. Okay, back to routines that will help tamp down that wayward emotional energy for the most part, the crazy Cancer energy and some of that Pisces energy that was with it, right? That really emotional stuff that some folks were going through. And it will allow us to focus on what lies ahead and how we intend to address the tasks that lay before us. There's no, look, there's so much energy at our disposal, and we will begin to get our first taste of main character energy. Main character energy as the moon trines Jupiter, because we have Jupiter that entered into that Leo phase, right? So the moon's going to trine Jupiter, and now we can feel it. Now we can feel the lights, right? The lights, the crowd, everything, right? Yes, it's starting. Our focus on outward appearance is beginning to pay off. Okay, as we strive towards what it is that will bring us abundance in the next couple of weeks. Appearance and that appeal that we make to others will play a big part in that, right? And we can feel the gears shifting, but don't hit the gas just yet. Familiarize yourself with your surroundings before you take that center stage, before you get in that fast lane, right? You kind of just merged onto the highway and you can feel the shift, but you got to be able to make your way over to that lane, that passing lane, very, very carefully. If you don't do it carefully, then you could cause an accident or you could delay your trip. So Aries energy understands none of this waiting crap, okay? Just doesn't. However, once the engagement begins, Aries does know how to wait and anticipate. So that moon is in a place where emotionally we don't want to really be holding back too much. But once that engagement starts, it's like, okay, here, there, right? It knows how to wait and anticipate, lay back, and then strike. This is where intuition comes into the Aries repertoire, right? Because it takes not just great reflexes, but anticipatory skills, right? That being able to know exactly where to counter, where to feint, where to do that stuff, right? That's where that gut comes in, and that instinct really starts to show through, right? We'll call it instinct with this because it's more reactive, right? Now, deflect, parry, and use your conversational skills to buy time and burnish your personal mystique. That's right. It's not fisticuffs. It's verbal stuff, right? It's persuasion and things like that. It's going to take a lot more words, though, because Mercury is retrograde. Creativity is super strong, but so is the urge to get lost into la-la land, okay? That is because Neptune is beginning to station and hold a place, right? So this intensifies all the Neptune things, the mystery, the veil, the creativity even, right? But it can also increase those urges for escapism. So we have to keep an eye on that and keep our our vibration elevated. Now, action is still the main watchword for the day. So take action tonight and follow up on your side hustles, right? That's right, because we did some stuff with them over the weekend. We need to follow up on that. The results could be surprising. The moon conjunct Neptune is letting us know that the veil is beginning to lower, okay? Neptune's power is magnified, so create freely because she is retrograde tomorrow. Now, in 1965, the psychedelic rock band, the Jefferson Airplane, forms in San Francisco, California. And our birth is a living being. It's Tenzin Gyatso. He's 90 years old. You know him better as the Dalai Lama. He was born in 1935, and he is the spiritual leader of the Lamastic Buddhists. He's born in Taxter in Qinghai, China, and he is the 14th Dalai Lama, in case you were counting. And that is going to be all I have for you. Thank you so much for joining me. I appreciate and love every single one of you. Just be aware, when you're posting in comments and stuff like that, that Mercury is retrograde. So if there's a misunderstanding or something like that, hey, it's easily taken care of, right? Now, let's sum it up, shall we? Today's keyword is action, and the color is muzzle flashes at night. Kind of like fireworks, but just not quite so bright and brilliant, right? Just mostly red and yellow, okay? And that's all I have for you. Today's a 7. Happy astrocatting.